Rise and shine, all you happy people. This is McLean Warren with Liaison Marketing. I am here with Dan Trumbull with Dan Trumbull Consulting. That's the guy throwing the deuces at you right now. He's super cool like that. And we have Brendan Fields, owner of Rize. I don't know if you want to give a hand signal yourself, Brendan, or there you go. So Ben, yeah, exactly. Some kind of call. Maybe jazz hands. Jazz hands is always one of my favorite ones.
Spirit fingers.
We all run a group called Rise and the videos are called Rise and Shine. We do this on a weekly basis, and it's all part of a group called Rise Above. Y'all should definitely join us on Facebook. It's a group of Amazon experts and sellers, and full of great information. And today we have our guest. I hear my son like creeping in the background. So if a kid just randomly pops in, he must have escaped his cage because I definitely had him in one and I can hear him. So yeah. Anyway, Stephen Selikoff, world-renowned seller, expert. He's pretty focused in the Amazon community, although that's not his exact specialty. Stephen, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, hi, my name's Stephen Selikoff. Let's see, I started selling to retailers in 2001. Started sourcing from China in 2005 and got onto Amazon soon after. In fact, FBA was launched in September 2006 and I joined within 30 days. So if you go back and look at unique identifiers or something, I go all the way back. I sell on Amazon, but I also sell to retailers and through in-store retailers, catalogs, and so on. I've had products that have been on, a few of them have been on the Today Show, Good Morning America, Kathy, Lee, and Hoda, which means nothing to anyone outside the US. So outside the US, Paris, Vogue, La Matin, The Times, I've had products in the gift bags at the Oscars, and even in Modern Dog magazine, which is, that's the goal we all go for.
Absolutely.
And I've also, we can talk about it. I've written a book that's doing pretty well. I have a program that's a lot of fun, but this week, I'll be part of, the Global Sources Summit and Workshop. So that's coming up right away. That and I am McLean's partner in competitive ballroom dancing, which we can't do during COVID. But when COVID's over, I hope you guys all come out and cheer for us because we've been trying really hard.
He always makes me lead, which is really awkward for me, but.
Well, I prefer it that way. If you want to wear the men's clothing, then you have to lead. That's just the way it works.
We should do an episode after COVID where you two showcase your competitive ballroom dancing.
Will you dip me?
Yes, and then you know what, you guys, we could have a judge, like a panel of judges.
Sure.
And yeah, you guys can be part of it. This will be great.
Sounds good.
American Idol all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That works.
Well, let's not set those expectations. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Stephen. Real quick, you had talked about your global sourcing event that's coming up here pretty quick.
Yes.
Can you just throw out those dates a little?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks.
Absolutely. They are. It's very soon, because it is live. The dates are dependent on where you are. It is the 10th, 11th, and 12th, and the first two of November, starting this week. So it is very immediate.
Yeah.
If you're in Australia or Singapore, that means tomorrow. And I can see if I have some of the attendees here that I can bring up. If not, this is going to be, let's see here.
That's okay.
Well, they're not on my phone. So very easy way is to go out to globalsources.com/summit. And for people who don't know what Global Sources is a sourcing platform, just like Alibaba or DHgate. So right away, if you're looking for a competitive edge and all your competitors are going to one platform, look at another platform.
And this is based out of China, is that correct? Or
Yeah. So the summit let me clarify this. Global Sources, a lot of their suppliers are in China, just like Alibaba that everyone talks about. But they're actually based in Hong Kong. And they differentiate themselves by having the ability to search further, to find more suppliers outside of China than Alibaba does. Now, I've never counted them up. I don't know which has more, but that variety is something that they're very proud of. Now, this particular workshop that I'm doing is called Sourcing in China, but it's really sourcing, working with your suppliers, and making sure that you have the right products that allow you to really take advantage of the changes that are occurring, so that you can take advantage of the opportunities that COVID has presented. And people think what opportunities are out there. That's do I do face masks or hand sanitizer? It's a lot more than that. The business has changed, and it's an opportunity for all of us to be bold and make some big steps.
So Stephen, do you have a sense of the suppliers in the platform? Are they mostly trade companies, or are they truly manufacturers, or is it a mix? And is there a way to differentiate them? Because I think that's something that you see a lot, and newer sellers, newer e-commerce merchants are buying from someone that they think is a manufacturer, but they find out they're just a middleman, that's just kind of facilitating the sale or the purchase of goods, from overseas suppliers. So that was always something on Alibaba that I thought would be awesome, is if you could kind of differentiate that. And you learn after a while, there are ways to kind of, figure that out. But, on Global Sources, is that something that is identifiable, or what information, I guess, today, do you guys offer about the suppliers themselves?
Yeah. So Alibaba, Global Sources, DHgate, Made in China, all of them are broadly a mix of both. Mm-hmm. When I started this, I would say it was probably 65, 35 factories to trading companies. Now it's easily the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's frustrating to new sellers. But it's also, in some cases, it's kind of silly, because when someone's brand new selling on Amazon, they need to be focusing on selling on Amazon. They need to be focused on getting the right launch and getting sales and understanding how to set up their listings and PPC and all of that. They don't need to be focusing on, is this a buyer, or is this a trading company, or is this a factory? Because I saw in some YouTube video, I need to go to factories. The reality is, people say go to a factory because you can get a better price. That's not real. The truth is, you can get a better price even with a trading company if you negotiate properly. If you don't negotiate properly, you're going to get a terrible price no matter where you go.
Yeah.
And on some products, you can get a better price with a trading company than a factory. So I focus, and this program is focused on products that are heavily differentiated. So I know that your son, McLean, is too young. Do either of you guys have kids that are around 8, 10, 12, 15 years old?
No.
You want any? You want to rent them, buy them? You can buy them on Amazon.
Are you selling children on Amazon? Is that where you're going with this?
As long as it's accepted by TOS, and the listing doesn't say they're pesticides, I think we can do that.
No livestock. No livestock.
Oh man. Okay. No, but little kids, during COVID, they're stuck at home. They're looking for something to do. Mom and dad are looking for crafts and stuff to do with them. Okay. So let's put together a unique product. I had a friend a few years ago who helped, her daughter decorated her room. She took a mirror and she put seashells all around the outside of her room, of the mirror on the room, and all of her friends came by to look at it and everything else. So let's say you're doing that today. That's, you could do it unique, make it only pink seashells. So it's different than anything out there. That's easy. Now,
Pink seashells and maybe give it a mermaid theme, which is kind of hot right now.
perfect mermaid theme.
Right.
Yes, or the little buttons or forks or whatever is from Ariel and the Little Mermaid.
Right. Without
So-
using that. Yeah.
Without using that name.
Right.
Okay.
I know way too much about cartoons for someone that does not have kids.
Also very true. I'm a Disney Plus subscriber and I don't have children, so I wish
Hey,
I could say it was just for the Mandalorian, but it's not.
No, you have to watch the right stuff too.
For
Right.
sure. For sure.
Yeah, and then don't sing songs like Under the Sea, because then people will think you actually did watch Ariel.
Hey, Steven.
So I'm going to come back to that example for one moment.
Yeah.
So you can source the frame or a mirror. You can source seashells or fake flowers, which have very low tariffs right now. But you do all of those. If you source those from a factory, you're going to be paying up here. You source those from a trading company, you're going to be paying low. They'll probably just walk through Iwu market and pick them all up, put them together, and send them to you at a very inexpensive price. And in this case, you want to be with a trading company, not a factory. So there are all sorts of examples where you can have great, low quantity, differentiated products without having to go to a factory. So that comes back to your question, Brendan. Can you tell them apart? No, but sometimes you're focusing on what's not important. Focus on getting the best price, focus on getting the best product. And if that happens to be a trading company.
And to that point, Stephen, my experience has been each deal is unique. Each client has unique needs and goals. And sometimes trading companies are a better fit for them, especially if they have some value-added services like packaging, labeling, kitting, things like that can really punch up the value and bring your landed costs to FBA down quite a bit.
Absolutely. And you get extra points for using the word kidding. I love that. That's
Thanks.
the voice of experience right there.
A little bit. I did a little bit of that in a previous career.
Now we do give you all sorts of wonderful ways of 100% defining whether you're dealing with a trading company or a factory. We're going to be talking about that during the workshop. But again, in priorities, as long as you have a good price, or more importantly, the right price, and you have a product that people want and will pay for, then you're on your way to success. Focus on your selling.
So
the live event, how do they do it? Because I know the Canton Fair went to all online. I'm so curious how they do a live trade show. Is that what it is?
So the trade show portion is separate from the summit. The summit is the training portion of it.
Okay.
I don't know how they're doing the live trade show portion of it. Frankly, I was severely disappointed with the Canton Fair last spring. I was slightly less disappointed at it this fall, and I cannot wait to be there in person, hopefully again next April.
Yeah.
I've been going back and forth since I had hair. So for quite a few years.
So
That must have been right before you became an Amazon seller.
Yeah, well, look at this. I mean, 23 years old, and I look like I'm at least 29.
Right.
I think it's funny.
Right.
We're on episode
Absolutely.
3 right now, and usually I'm the one getting made fun of for the hair. So I'm glad, Stephen, you're on today. So.
We're getting
Oh
teased.
yeah, I mean, there's two of us. We can bully them.
Right.
So can you be more specific? Like first of all, can people still sign up for your course?
Yes. People can sign up at globalsources.com/summit. And if you write PDA, you get 10% off.
Okay, and I will make sure to put that in the comments after we publish this video. With that being said, can you be more specific? Like when you say workshop, I usually think, it goes throughout the day and you broach on different topics throughout the day. Is there a certain curriculum that you're going to follow so that people that are interested know specifically what you're going to be teaching?
Yes, and first of all, yes, it does go throughout the day, and it does broach on certain topics. And I'm going to just walk you right through some of the topics right now. Product choice, differentiation, your multiplier. We're going to be teaching people how to get a high multiplier, 6x, 7x, 10x. what the price is compared to what a low price is, finding your supplier, the difference, as we just mentioned, between trading companies and factories, how to protect your IP, supplier agreements, POs, NNN, negotiation techniques, how to build a relationship, how to negotiate price, how to negotiate MOQ, how to negotiate payment terms, negotiating as a woman in China, which is interesting. A lot of people don't realize that there are opportunities there as well. We're actually going to do some negotiation role plays and using breakout rooms in Zoom. We're going to be talking about remote factory management, quality. What do you do if something goes wrong? We're going to touch on shipping. We're going to talk about scaling your brand off of Amazon. And the hook to all of this is we're going to introduce you to a brand, a product that sold over $5 million during COVID. COVID is not, it's transformational. I don't want to use that word unprecedented, so I'm going to use the word transformational. But it's also given all sorts of opportunities. That 5 million plus, actually it's more than 5 million, but 5 million rolls off the tongue. Isn't not my product. I've landed a deal that, if it looks like we'll sell as much as we're projecting, should be about 1.3, 1.4 million, possibly more. All of this during COVID. And there are changes. I mean, so all of us are in the US. We didn't see things like curbside pickup a year ago. Now, 70% of the top 50 retailers in the US offer curbside pickup. And why are they doing that? One, it's cheaper than Amazon having to ship stuff because they literally send someone out to the curb to drop it off. And two, that means they now have an online presence because people are shopping online, going to the store, picking it up. I think it's like, I forget the percentage. I'll have to look it up before the workshop, but customers are raving about it. Customers that have used curbside pickup, they're raving. So there are wonderful opportunities there. The Economist, about a week and a half ago, did an article where production in China is back up to where it has been before. So people are buying products. And small stores, small online stores, certainly a lot of people selling on Amazon have been devastated by what happened during COVID. But customers have not gone away. They're tighter on their wallets right now because they don't know what's happening financially, but they're still there. I have one of my students is doing a product for women, and she said, well, what should I do? I said, there are just as many women now as there were prior to COVID. So you're still selling to women. They're still going to enjoy your product. Keep selling. They're just going to be looking in different places. So there's lots of positive. And the idea is there are companies that have made themselves successful because they took bold moves during bad times. And that's the idea behind this. I want people to take bold moves and come into 2021 with a plan that will make them much more successful than they were before.
Now, I have a question, and this goes out to everyone because I would love to know Brendan and Dan's opinion. I will just give an example. We had a client right around the time that COVID really hit, when everything was locked down, and they sold luggage, right? And so it was just one of the worst times to sell luggage because literally no one was traveling. So say you have, clients or sellers right now that are suffering because they're selling products that are not COVID friendly. You know what I'm saying? The question becomes, like, how much do you change what you're selling, or how much do you base the model of the products that you want to sell on COVID? Like, is this like a long-term thing that you think is going to bring in money for years to come? Do you think it's a temporary solution? How much do you weigh in COVID when you come up with a unique product? Brendan, I'll let you take that question first.
Sure. Yeah, so I think one of the benefits of being a small business, and this also goes to what Steven started to talk about, is that you're super agile, right? So like, as a big company, if they're going to start sourcing a different product, it could take them a year just to get the gears moving to make a change like that. So the first part of the question is, can you do it? And usually the answer is yes. A lot of times, even your same supplier can go and source a product for you that's drastically different than what you're currently sourcing. And that gets into the trading company area. They're probably going to find another supplier for that new product if it's I guess a hot product because of COVID, like maybe not mask, but whatever the item is that's there's a lot of demand for. As to whether you should, my feeling, and I know a lot of people disagree with this, is I think it's somewhat of a distraction. I think with the lead times to source these products, to get them, to list them, by the time you do, you're selling a product that's highly competitive because everybody else is doing that too. And I don't know, unless you have some great connection going into this where like you happen to know, a mask supplier and they can get you a shipment before anybody else. Maybe that makes sense, but I would say by and large, try to stick it out. People will travel again in the example of your client, and maybe just use that spare time you have now with slower activity to work on just enhance brand content or just kind of get yourself ready for the rebound, is my opinion. But
Dan?
Yeah, so to echo what Brendan and Stephen talked about, I think transformative is absolutely the right word. And in all cases, I ordered pizza from Domino's last week because I'm gross. And I got touchless delivery, and they left the pizzas outside on a little custom foldable, of course, custom printed piece of cardboard. And it's, of course, that's a spacer to keep it up off the stoop. That product didn't exist a year ago, or at least not nearly on that scale. But some innovative cardboard manufacturer, corrugated board manufacturer came up with that and positioned it properly, the right product at the right time. So when Stephen says transformative, I think that it's instantly transformative out of necessity, but also it's transforming the way people buy things. And those habits will stick around, not to the degree that they were during the shutdown, and not to the degree that they are today, but people are trying these services and buying things in different ways they've never had to. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? So when you can't leave your house, you have to order curbside pickup. You have to order from online if you want the thing. And then once they do it, they realize, oh, this is very customer centric. This is easy. I like this. So a lot of retention a lot of customers will be retained through those other processes. But in regard to the luggage question, I generally agree with Brendan. You got to tough it out. People will travel again, but you also might want to consider augmenting that, that offering with a like type product in that suite that might be more COVID friendly, a little bit more bulletproof. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but maybe sleep masks, and you can build them as sleep mask kits and also travel masks for airplanes. Things that go over your eyes, maybe cooling gel. That's just a product off the top of my head that might fit in that general universe of luggage, and then also apply while there's travel restrictions, or at least fear of travel.
Well, and I think you touched on something important, which I think Stephen, Brendan, and all of you were really trying to get at, is that you want to do a project, or you want to do a product that is, what's the phrase they use? Very green, that'll last for, what's the phrase I'm thinking of?
Evergreen.
Evergreen, yeah.
Like it's evergreen. But that like you said, with the invention of this cardboard box that keeps the product elevated, and maybe even helps with circulation, heat, or something like that.
Sure.
That's something that even if and when COVID stops, you can still use that. Like, it's still a new invention that people will adopt because it's such a good idea. And that probably goes back to what Stephen was saying, is coming up with a very unique idea that's not just COVID friendly, but that's something that will be evergreen and that can really transform the way we do stuff as a society.
Yeah.
And building off that, I think a lot of this stuff, people say evergreen or find a niche that nobody else is doing. part of it, I think if you really want to be serious about that, you have to have some IP behind it, and not just a trademark, because those are a dime a dozen, but actually look to get a patent. It takes a while, they're expensive, but like everybody uses Jungle Scout and people are trying to find the next great niche. It's only going to be a great niche for a few months till other people find that niche and then start selling that product. So I think if people really want to be serious about carving out some unique product feature that they really truly want to be an evergreen product, you're going to have to marry that with a patent or some sort of IP protection, because it's not going to stay like that for long at this rate.
Absolutely. I do not own or use Jungle Scout or Helium 10 or Zone Guru or any of those. I don't believe in that business model. That business model is find something that somebody else is selling and sell it and copy it and so on, because other people are behind you doing the same thing. Yeah. And in the case of the luggage, I absolutely agree. Yes, wait it out. Given the opportunity, traveling will come back. If you were to order if you asked your factory to start their production now, there's a good chance that it won't be completed. If you're starting something new, it won't be completed before Chinese New Year. So you're looking now, 6 months, 7 months down the road before you're starting to sell it. Yeah. But I would also, taking what Brandon's talking about and IP and something unique, luggage is created, large luggage is created in vacuum forming. Small luggage can be done in a plastic injection. But if you take that vacuum forming idea, and if you're already dealing with a supplier that's doing vacuum forming, and you know that over the last 8 months, a large percentage of the white collar workforce is now working from home, is there an opportunity to do something that's vacuum formed, that uses handles and wheels, and create something for the home office that doesn't exist, but solves a problem people are looking at? Is it somebody going back and forth to their actual office once a week or once a month? Do they need to keep papers or printouts and bring it back and forth or so on? Is it, a carry-on bag solving the purpose for them, or is something else that doesn't exist yet ready for them? Maybe papers that have to be kept secure. I'm just talking off the top of my head, but for people who are living this lifestyle of working from home and then occasionally having to go into the office, they have needs that can be met. And I'm sure that's something that's created in vacuum form, just like luggage, but can also secure papers, monitors, or whatever.
Yeah, like almost like a home office go bag, like a home office bug out bag. When you have to bug out to the office on Friday for your mandatory meeting, you have your dedicated, and then of course when you open it up, there's some differentiators for organization. Sure. By the way, I'm gonna patent that home office bug out bag. Trademark Dan Trumbull Consulting 2020. No, I'm just kidding.
When your customers,
that's not how trademarks work, by the way, people.
When customers buy that and bring it into the office and other people see it, they're going to ask right away, what is it? So whatever name you come up with, you make sure that's embossed or printed in large letters across the side.
For sure.
Because people will ask.
Yep. Yeah, it's best marketing in the world.
So, Stephen, kind of getting a little bit away from sourcing and from unique, it's still on the topic of unique product ideas, but one thing that you've been very outspoken about is that you've always stood by the claim that you don't have to sell on Amazon to be successful. Amazon is not the make or break. There are plenty of other platforms to use. You largely, most of your success has been off of Amazon and in retail and stuff. Is there anything you want to kind of elaborate on that and why that is your stance?
Well, I like Amazon, and I've got lots of friends who work at Amazon. I worked at Microsoft for a number of years, and there's a natural shift from Microsoft to Amazon. So I absolutely support Amazon, love Amazon. Amazon Marketplace, though, does have some rough spots. People getting suspended without any reason. A lot of people, once you get on Amazon, looking and copying you and so on. So there are pluses and minuses to it. But I think the big difference is the size. I mean, I've seen these videos from gurus saying Amazon is 60% of the retail market and so on. And it's like, folks, Jeff Bezos just testified in front of Congress at the end of July saying Amazon is 4% of the retail market. And then during COVID, all of e-commerce grew by 150%. Amazon grew actually at a slightly lower rate than that. They're now at 5.1 or something percent. But that still leaves a huge market out there. So if you focus only on Amazon, even within the e-commerce space, you're losing 9% of the market. Almost twice the size of Amazon is being sold on other e-commerce platforms. So that means your own Shopify store. That means Walmart.com. That means Wayfair. It means all these other opportunities. Sears, there we go. And then there's retail stores. Most of retail is done in the in-store experience, and it's been a terrible knock on that during COVID and lockdown, and stores being closed and stuff like that. But when you get right down to it, particularly in the US, we have something called retail therapy. People go out and go shopping to feel good. People ask their friends to come with them. It's still the census, where it counts all the people every year, also does things like they track retail habits and so on. 71% of people spend more than $50 when they go to stores. When the entire layout of a big box store is totally scientifically planned to get you to spend more money than you wanted to go in. Everything from the packaging of the product to the height of the shelves to music to fragrance. Every time, if you go to a store, a big box store, and you have a shopping list, that shopping list, forget it. Because you grab a shopping cart, you have surrendered yourself to the idea that you're going to put more into that cart than you came into, and that's planned. Mm-hmm. So when you have a new product, an exciting product that can have impact from the shelf, that's compelling, people say, yeah, I've never seen anything that boils eggs inside of the shell, without having to put it in water. I need that, and pumps it into the cart. That happens all the time on Amazon. People are looking for something very specific. You're looking for a little holder on the back of your phone. You look for that. And I'll tell you right now, I'll go out to Amazon 2 or 3 times a day because I'll suddenly remember something else that I have to get. And then I get excited when it all gets delivered on the same day. It's like score. But when you're in a big box store, you're buying those other things. You're passing things on the way to the front of the store. And my favorite are the independent stores and the specialty stores, because people walk into those stores with a completely different mindset. If you go to a new town, if you're on vacation, let's take a day and just walk through the stores. People actually look at retailers as part of the exciting part of their vacation. They walk into these stores and they walk up and down every single aisle looking for something they haven't seen before. That's a success, and then tell their friends about it. So when you have something that's new and unique, if you want people looking for something new and unique, that's where you want to be. There's nothing more beautiful than that. So there's all sorts of opportunities outside of Amazon as well as Amazon. And if you're not taking advantage of that, if you're not taking advantage of all the new opportunities that have come up during 2020, then you're leaving money on the table. And sometimes it's a huge amount of money.
Yeah. I think that the challenge is with that from a seller or merchant side is just resources. So like I've had many times where I have unlimited ambition and too little resources, where I have a great product on Amazon. I'm like, well, this product would be great in stores, it'd be great on all these other marketplaces. And I've just flopped because, even with a few employees, I just don't have the resources to push it to some of the smaller marketplaces, do the maintenance and customer service that's required in 10 or 12 places. And maybe that's a whole nother podcast episode, but that's,
absolutely. I will slip you your $5 later on for saying that. Absolutely. pick up the book, come to our program. We teach you how to do all of that. You build up a sales force of 100 or so odd people going around the stores, doing it for you. You don't have to worry. So
Yeah.
that $5 is on its way to you in the mail. Use gloves.
Stephen, can you show that book so everyone can see it? It's
Yes.
not quite, yeah.
The complete book of product design, development, manufacturing, and sales. And it's on Amazon. And
so
we launched in June, and I think it's 3,300 sales now. It's pretty big. It's been up to #1 a couple of times already.
You can pretty much go from the very first, like from the concept all the way to pitching your product to a store to manufacturing it to, you cover it from A to Z, correct?
Everything, even before the concept. There's all exercises on coming up with product ideas, exercises that are inspired by a Y Combinator out in California and Tony Buzan and even Leonardo da Vinci. So we help you come up with the product ideas, evaluate them, so you're not just chasing something that's not going to be profitable, not going to have customer demand. We go through objective evaluation, through the design, continued customer feedback through the whole process, manufacturing, marketing, getting a logistics set up wherever it is you're going to be selling it. As I said, marketing, both sell to and sell through marketing, and then getting on Amazon, on other e-commerce platforms, and on retailer shelves. So
Awesome.
it's huge.
Because is it Brandon?
So when is this going to show? When is this going to air? What day is this going to air?
Well, we usually air Mondays, but because of it starting tomorrow and the next few days, we'll probably air it in the next few hours to make sure.
So if you want a free copy of this book on November 12th, it's the Kindle is for free download on the 12th day of every month. It's
oh, okay.
Really? When I started, I was bootstrapping, and I wish I had the information that I had now. So for the 12th day of every month, it's available for free, that anyone wants to download the Kindle version can do it.
Awesome. And so circling back to the global sourcing, what is everyone else going to be talking? I mean, you have I know you tried to find the roster of people that are going to be talking, but roughly how many speakers are involved and how many days is it, and what are the other topics people will be broaching on?
So it's 3 days. The third day is the workshop. The first 2 days of the summit. You'll be hearing about selling across multiple platforms, including, I'm excited about selling off of Reddit, which I wasn't even aware of. That's an opportunity, and things like Google Shopping and so on. You'll be learning about PPC, their specific master classes on how to do, I think one's on photography, one's on something else. And there is people like Danny McMillan is doing a panel. CJ Rosenbaum is doing a legal thing. There's Yu Ping, who's never done one of these conferences before, but has a popular YouTube channel, is doing a seminar on building relationships or using relationships to source better. So it really is everything that someone who is selling on Amazon needs to know to up their game. And that takes place over 2 days' time. There's probably around at least a dozen, I mean, maybe as high as 18, including the panelists, of presenters. And it's all put on by or organized by Megla, who everyone's familiar with her fabulous India sourcing trip and her expertise on India. So quick shout out to Megla. And then on the third day is the addition of the workshop, and that's what we've been talking about. And a lot of what we're talking about right now is going to be covered in the workshop in detail.
Awesome. And how much is it to join?
It's 45 for the seminar, 145 for the workshop, and you can get a 10% discount with the code P as in Paul, D as in David, A as in Adam, PDA.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I hope everyone watching this gets a chance to join. I think it's a huge opportunity for a lot of people, especially those that are struggling to find what kind of product they want to sell and how to go about sourcing it and what platforms they want to use. Dan, Brendan, do you have any more questions for Stephen?
I'm good. I think we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah. No, I think it was interesting. Definitely looking forward to the seminar. Sounds interesting.
It's going to be fun. I know that in the workshop we will cover things that whether you are brand new or if you're a veteran that you have not heard before, and that's exciting to say because we're all looking for that advantage. We're all looking for new information.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think, selling online now, you do need to do everything perfectly or near perfectly to have that competitive advantage. So definitely, using those best practices and learning from experts is, hugely valuable.
You guys know, you've been doing this for years and you've seen how it's changed. It's not 2016 anymore. It's now 2014.
Yeah.
Right.
People say, what's the difference? Well, 2015 is when they opened it up, when they removed the prohibitions against Chinese sellers.
Right.
It's a different world than it was
night and day. Absolutely.
Yeah. And just in the last year, we've seen so many changes. What do people do about having this 200 unit limit, and how do you turn that to your advantage? So you guys have seen it all. What's your attitude towards what's happening in 2021?
Brendan, do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, no, I think it's extremely challenging. I mean, I think this is the hardest time to be an e-commerce seller. Definitely in the 10 years or so that I've done it. But I think that challenge for those sellers that get through this period and come out the other side of it, I think, for those sellers, it'll be a good opportunity to be ahead of everybody else and be successful. But yeah, no, there's no question. And it hit quickly, right? So nobody was prepared for it. And I think it's also a lesson on kind of being agile in, your supply chain and operations and nobody knows what the next event is, but being prepared to make a quick change and not being so rigid that, whatever that next thing is, that, it, crumbles your business or causes, a loss that you can't recover from. So.
Right. I agree. I mean, for me, the phrase that echoes in my head is this has been a market disruptor, right? Anytime a market is disrupted, something happens, something bad happens or something good happens. In this case, both happened, right? Some sellers have really, really done well, sometimes just lucky. I happen to be selling masks anyway. And sometimes they, like you said, Brendan, sometimes they were very nimble, very agile, and reacted very quickly to a massive vacuum in the market. And that, of course, always equates to dollars. But Amazon itself was a market disruptor. So I think getting through this time means diversification, just like we talked about. Are you reaching out to other selling venues? Are you gathering, if you're serious about creating a brand, are you incorporating any sort of IP, intellectual property? Do you have a social media following? All of these things, selling on 10 venues, including your own, getting into retail stores, having intellectual property, all of those things are drivers for sales, and it's really going to echo and drive sales and drive your brand with customers.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks everyone for coming on. Stephen, a special thank you to you. We wish you nothing but luck on your, although you probably don't need any luck, but we wish you well on your workshop. We will put the information into a link when we post this video. And hopefully everyone watching this gets a chance to join the, it's global sourcing, correct?
Globalsources.com/summit.
Got it. And once again, you want to give us the 10% discount code?
Yes, PDA, Paul, David, Adam,
Awesome.
PDA.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. I will see you next week.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
I can't wait till we get back to our ballroom dancing.
All right.